I'll tell you when.
Yes. Now it is saying that, okay, this has been sent to third party.
Yeah. We're
Okay.
live. We're live.
Okay.
We're live.
Hello and welcome to Moreness-Culture. Good morning, Syl. Good morning, Grain. And good
Good
morning,
morning.
everyone.
Good morning,
Thank
Beena. Good
thank you
morning.
so much. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone who is going to watch us live. Will join us live and will watch us recorded later on any platform like YouTube, on Substack, on in Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We are there too. You all are most welcome to the Modernist culture and to this free space which Syl has created for all of us, where we can, of course, be ourselves, true self, and also we can aspire to be more, all caps more, which is innate to us. This is what we, as human being, and of
Oh,
course as being, not necessarily human only, but as being, we share. So something common we do
yeah,
have, and just this awareness that we have this moreness innate to us is so profound. It is life changing right
yes.
now, because I
Yeah.
am, when I'm more, we are not saying, okay, you don't need to get fixed because you are already okay. No, more than that, not just being okay with
Right.
life and with your, you don't need any fixedness and anything,
Not broken.
but
You're
you
not
are more.
broken. You're not broken. Right.
Yes, but you are more. And that is something,
Exactly.
if we can truly
Exactly.
understand that, we can achieve so much more what we are
Yeah.
expecting and desiring and wishing and all that. So this is a place where you can actually extract the moreness and also get
Right.
that moreness, access that moreness which you already have, but it is not necessarily accessible to you. It is
Yeah.
available but not accessible right now. Here you can access your moreness, and of course moreness is the real joy in life. It's really a
Yeah.
soul of your purpose, where we do talk about, like, okay, what's my purpose in life. Moreness culture go beyond that. It says that yes, the purpose is going to be just being is enough. This is
Yeah.
the
Being
whole
your
purpose.
moreness is enough. Not just
But
any old being. Being your moreness. Yeah.
yes, but moreness culture actually says that you are not just a being, you are more,
Exactly.
and you can
Exactly.
be more, and you can access moreness. And this is
Exactly.
something really profound in life. I
Yeah.
personally feel that moreness is something we always have this innate call for, but we never understand what we are looking
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So welcome to moreness culture. This was my today's thought. I was thinking about that because Syl has shared so many things about Nobelia, and where people have this moreness, and they not only they have moreness, because we, as I was saying, sorry for my fumble, as I was saying that, okay, we all have that, but these people at Nobelia, they have already access their moreness. They have already exercising, projecting, practicing their moreness, creating their moreness more and more and more on every single day. So this is something very profound and so idealistic for me, that, okay, oh my God, this can be true, but it is. I was thinking like,
Yeah.
okay, it is something I can never actually think about it, because I was not considering myself I can ever be a part of it. But then I realized that when Biela start asking questions, answering questions for random people, and people who were asking her questions, from her responses, I realized that yes, I can also be there. In which
Ah.
capacity, I still don't know, but I can be part of
Yeah.
it.
In
I'm
the
trying to
capacity of being
identify.
a being. That's all you need.
In fact, yes, but we have this
It's
tendency
a
to, when we,
participant. Yeah.
yes, but innately, naturally, we have this tendency that when we get some opportunity to be somewhere which is so profound, so valuable, immediately we start thinking, what I'm going to be there,
How can I contribute?
and
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly in which capacity I'm going to be there, who I will be. But I don't think about these things, because whatever, as appropriate, always.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, let me ask you a question. Since cricket is a big deal right now, right? You got all cricket going
Yes.
on, big cricket tournament going on. Was it the World Cup cricket or what is it? I forgot.
Right
Anyway,
now, it's about the Champions Trophy, which is going to happen in
Champions
February.
Trophy. Okay, okay. Anyway, so cricket, the big deal going on. So now when you go to the cricket match as a fan, what's your contribution?
My contribution is just being there. That's it.
Exactly, exactly. Moreness-Culture, you come and simply being a part of it is the contribution. That's it. Just sharing, enjoying, just being. You're enjoying yourself. This is the purpose, and you're as a fan, you enjoying the moreness, and you enjoying is makes the whole thing work and worthwhile. See, so that's Moreness-Culture. Yeah, understand that. You don't have to do something specific. You can just be and enjoy yourself and celebrate your moreness. Enjoy what's going on. Right. That's it. No more needed. Isn't that cool, Beena? For
It
me,
is
this
beautiful.
is phenomenally, wonderfully, brilliantly cool.
This is
All right.
also that we can actually experience that just being more in numbers, not necessarily that okay, who is capable of what, just being
Oh,
more in numbers actually outnumber everyone.
exactly. Exactly.
This is, if you are part of moreness, what you are doing, you are contributing that yes,
Yeah.
you are part of this, and you are
Right.
creating more
And
and more and more moreness.
right. And by participating in moreness. All right. 1 second. I just want to go live on TikTok. Oh, I
Okay,
forgot
okay,
to click it earlier. Just
no
it's
problem, no
always a
problem.
little slower, but that's good because then TikTok's a little
Yes,
shorter.
no problem, no
All
problem.
right. So
And this
brilliant,
is what
brilliant. Hello,
all
hello,
my thoughts were today
TikTokers.
about.
So we're talking about moreness and participating in moreness, right? And you don't have to contribute. Participation is enough.
Yes,
Participation is contribution.
exactly,
Participation
exactly.
is contribution. And just participating means just being there, like going to any sports match, a concert, a festival, whatever. Those things
Yes,
don't exist if it weren't for the participants, which is the attendees, the fans, right? So
yes,
we forget this, and this is the fantastic moreness of Moreness-Culture. That you don't have to be competing or jockeying or looking for hierarchy or goodness knows what all the things that people want to do. No, just you being there and enjoying yourself and having fun and celebrating your own moreness and celebrating the moreness of others. That's it, right? And Moreness-Culture celebrates difference. Yeah, not better
yes.
or worse, but difference. Wow, somebody's got something. I appreciate it. Like, wow, that's really something. Wow, wow, I love your moreness. Whatever it is, just even if your moreness is just being a nice person, that's it. Anybody can be a nice person. It doesn't take very much to be a nice person. I also will celebrate if you're not a bad person.
Nice or good person? So,
Either
both?
way, good and
Okay,
nice. Well, when I say nice, I imply good, right? But not
okay.
a bad person. We don't have to be nice. We don't have to be good, but we do have to not be bad. And that's all you got to do. And I celebrate that. If you're not a bad person, go you, go you, go you, right? It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's pretty simple, really.
Yes.
All right, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Let's continue with what we are doing, which is reading Carlos Castaneda, and we are on book 2 called A Separate Reality, and this much. But before we go on to that, so brilliant. We got a Sebastian. Yes, hello, Sebastian. I'm Sebastian. A little different, but I can say hi to both the TikTokers. Uh, it gives next to their names, it says say hi, but it doesn't do it for everybody. I don't know why, some, why others. So if you guys have any questions, please let us know, right? Any comments, say hello. I never know because I can't watch the stream live and Beena can't watch it
Yes.
either from where she is. So we don't know how it's coming through to you guys. I just have to assume it's all good there. So nobody ever responds from TikTok. So if you can hear us, just leave us a little thumbs up or something there, please. Sebastian and Italy Alia, if you can hear us and see us, just leave us a little thumbs up or say yes we can or something. I never get a response from TikTok, so I'm a little worried that maybe it's just live and the sound isn't on or whatever. So let me actually ask it in a comment. Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's see, maybe. Maybe if they can't hear us, then no wonder they're not responding, right? So
Yes. Okay, we
I'll just
can.
ask
Okay,
them as a
please
comment.
excuse us. Please excuse us for not being really thorough about TikTok. We can learn this if we really want to and like really pay attention to. Not want to, but yes, if we really pay
I have a
attention, we
lot of
can just
things to
learn it
do.
in a day. But somehow we
Yeah,
were like really always busy doing some other stuff. So
yeah,
as appropriate, so it will come, and at some point we are going to learn about this TikTok, and then you
yeah,
guys will feel more welcome, properly,
yeah.
appropriately
Yeah,
welcome
yeah,
on
yeah.
TikTok
Yeah,
also.
it's just
So
that
these
because
things
we
are
do get,
still there.
yeah, because we sharing, we streaming, live streaming to multiple platforms, right? So that's it. We do via Zoom, we do go live into Facebook, and then through Restream, which is the special software, it allows us to go live on Instagram,
Yes, and also
YouTube,
for the
and
TikTok users,
yeah,
I just want to say that okay, you can also find us on our TV show, The Moreness Show, with Syl Sabastian and Beena
right,
Sidd. You
right,
can watch us there, and of course, live calls are also welcome. I don't know that okay about that, but
yeah,
it was welcome on the other show. Syl
yeah,
used to have
yeah,
that on regular
yeah.
basis. Now, if you watch us, you can watch us on YouTube and just type the Moreness Show. We are very unique. It will come. I have
Oh
searched that.
yes, oh
And it
yes,
was very
oh
unique.
yes.
You can
Oh,
find
you
us
can
on just
actually, if you put it into Google, also just put the Morning Show into Google, it comes up as well. All
yes,
right.
yes.
I want to address a very particular topic before we carry on with our reading. And Bina was
Yes.
talking about mourners and mourners culture, but I want to talk about the difficulty of sharing mourners. And you might go, okay, maybe you won't pull your face as stupidly as mine, but you know, what? Like, how does this make any sense? How is it difficult to share mourners? You say, wouldn't this be like a duh that, if you're sharing mourners, it would be like, wow, this is cool. This is bonus. This is mourners. No, not necessarily. Why? Because our typical culture is a superiority paradigm culture. It's a hierarchy culture. It's a competitive culture. It's a jockeying for position culture, right? And in
Yes.
that culture, if somebody gives you something for nothing with no reason, you're instantly suspicious. It's like, what? Why are they giving me this gift? Like, what's in it for them? It's not my birthday. They don't really know me. Why are they just giving me stuff for free? This happens all the time. Literally in gifts, actually go around and try and give away stuff for free, and you'll see it's not as easy as you might think, right? I mean, people will take the gift, but they'll still suspect your motivations. They say, "Oh, thank you very much," and run away. Yeah. They don't get that. I mean, and especially if you're doing things from really pure motivations. Bina does acts of nobleness all the time. Yeah. I mean, truly being noble, right? Which is above and beyond what you are required to do out of goodness and rightness and appropriateness. You don't have to do things that have nobleness at its core. This is just extra. This is something you do above and beyond. That's what makes it noble. So she does this on a regular basis. But most people think that being noble is an impossibility and it's ridiculous and nobody's this way. So they cannot grasp it, they cannot see it, they cannot perceive it. Yeah, they're blind to it because they don't believe it's possible. It's quite
Yes.
amazing. Yeah, and the same thing
Yes.
with altruism. Oh, nobody can be truly altruistic. That's just a myth. That's not possible. Everybody's in it for something. No, you can be, right? You can act without agenda. In part of the one of the cause to mourners culture, right? As opposed to moreness itself. Moreness is a concept. Moreness culture is taking that concept and applying it and putting it into action and providing a basis for it, providing support for it, providing ways that you can learn to be and access your own moreness and to share it and apply it and use all the tools. So one of those programs is called Way-of-Impeccability. And in Way-of-Impeccability, all of this comes to bear, right? And the sharing is a very key part of mourners culture. capital S sharing. And that's where acting without agenda comes from, because it's part of way of impeccability, to learn to act without agenda. Why do you want to learn to act without agenda? Because that's the only way you're going to be able to live in attunement, which is connecting to the greater moreness, the moreness of the universe, and where all the moreness comes from. Life itself is moreness. But we need to access that. We need to connect to it. We need to take off the filters and the blinders, which makes us see life as stressful and a struggle and this hierarchy and competitiveness. That's the paradigm you live in. You don't need to live in that paradigm. You can shift it. You can shift it to another one, and you see the whole world differently. But sharing moreness, when people aren't ready to hear it, and when they're suspicious and they always say, oh, he's just doing it to be important, he wants to get likes and all this. We do not do our lives to get likes. Of course, we enjoy the likes when they come, but it's not the reason for doing it. We do the reason for doing what we do is to share. It's a moreness reason, right? And whether or not we did this when nobody watched us. Seriously,
Oh, yeah.
nobody. Yeah. And we were quite happy because we said we're going to do this anyway, and we might as well just go live and share it. Yeah, why not? If somebody gets some value out of it, good. But you're putting it out into the world, and that's it. But also, there's another reason. See, moreness reasons. When you do something that's public, yeah, you now are raising, especially if you use impeccability as part of your understanding and your way of living. Now, when you do something public, it's a different standard of professionalism, a different standard of quality. You putting it out there. Somebody could watch it. And as such, you need to be more professional, right? And that's just part of one's impeccability. So it leverages us to do things in a slightly different way, which is self-leveraging. It's a moreness reason. Doesn't matter if anybody watches or not. It matters to us. And that's moreness. Again, we also, when we do in our lives, it's like in our minds, we are sharing to the universe. This is an incredible moreness reason. An incredible moreness reason. Just think of it. All right, you might not use the word moreness. You may say Krishna, Buddha, Allah, God, whatever. Angels, who knows? It doesn't matter what, right? Fairy queen, as I like to say. If you're sharing to something that's more, that's really more, it changes how you share. In other words, you can't BS the universe. You can't be fudging and being all self-important and egotistical with God or Allah or Buddha or Krishna, right? I mean, this is just ludicrous, you see?
Exactly.
So that's moreness. That's the moreness reason for doing things. You leverage yourself, right? Leverage, capital L leverage. It's in our dictionary of power, part of Moreness-Culture, part of way of impeccability, more moreness, right? So all the things, when you start to look at all the reasons why we do things, none of them are the usual and conventional reasons. Yeah, none of them are. But that's all. It makes it difficult for people to comprehend because they just assume that the reasons that they know are the only reasons. In superiority paradigm, the only reason you're going to do a live is because you want to promote yourself, you want to get some money, you want to get fame, you want to get status, you want to get likes, whatever. Those are the reasons. None of the reasons that I mentioned are part even that people even imagine. Like,
Yes.
it's out of their reality. And that's why sharing moreness is difficult, because sometimes people absolutely just can't hear what you're doing. They assume you're doing it for the reasons that they think, right? So now your motivations get automatically lumped. They don't even do it consciously. It just happens automatically. They assume these are your motivations, but they're not, right? And sometimes when people are getting a bit more, listening a bit more, they can get a bit stuck when they don't shift to understanding that your motivations are completely different and other. And they cannot understand largesse of spirit, for instance. It's a very powerful term, largesse of spirit, with the hyphens. It's a singular term. It's in our dictionary of power. What does largesse of spirit mean? It means you give unreservedly. You give way more than you need to give. But in superiority paradigm, this is just madness. This is just, nobody does that. This is just unbelievable. No, nobody will just give more than they need to give, way more than they give to need. They won't go to absurd lengths for no reason. That's largesse of spirit. It happens. I see it with Beena all the time, right? And in Beena's environment and community, it happens all the time, right?
Yes.
Obviously, for me also. But I'm using
Yes.
Beena as an example. I don't want to be saying me, because that's uncomfortable, right? So this is
Yes.
an important understanding. So
It,
sharing
it, it,
moreness
it,
becomes
it, it
tricky.
should not be. It should not be uncomfortable. Like really, because this is something. Part of modernist culture, that to accept that and to be very, very, very
Right, right.
self-honest about
Correct,
it.
correct,
But yes,
correct.
so sir, you are actually, yes, you do share without having any conventional agenda. The only agenda,
Correct.
okay, no, not the only, but yes, the main agenda is to share,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it is not just like, okay, I just want to say that because other people needs it. No, I'm sharing because I like to.
Exactly. I love
Whether
to.
they have it
It's
or
really
not,
wonderful.
that's it.
It's a joy. It's a joy.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Um, Yeah, well, it's not that I can say about my good qualities. I can talk about it. I have no problem talking about it.
Yeah.
But in this environment, yes, I am very cognizant of people hearing it through the filter of superiority paradigm. And the moment I would
Mm.
say, well, let's say I'm doing something which, okay, I'm doing it just out of largesse of spirit. You see, look there. He's just pushing his ego. He's just getting that. You see, it's too easy to assign it to a BS reason, a superiority paradigm, motivation, and agenda. So that's why I don't do it. It's not personally uncomfortable, but it's awkward in the context because it can so easily be misinterpreted. And through awareness, Moreness-Culture is all about awareness. You have to be aware of things, and you have to also be appropriately strategic, right? So that's why I don't do that. Yeah, I mean I could, but I don't. Other times I'll talk about my good qualities when appropriate. Yeah, when we're talking about celebrating your own moreness, it's very important that we do it, and that's about self-honesty and part of Moreness-Culture and all the programs. The key issue, if you want to learn and grow, is self-honesty. That's it. And honesty too, but particularly self-honesty. It's absolutely essential, 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 right? You cannot learn and grow if you are not going to be honest. Because if you're really honest, anytime you learn, there's basically, well, I'm updating what I knew before, which means what I knew before wasn't enough. It may be incorrect. It may not be. It may be sort of somewhat correct, but there was more to it, right? So I have to acknowledge that they didn't quite have all of it. Whether it was wrong or not doesn't matter. It may have been correct, but just partially so. You still have to acknowledge that you didn't have it all, right? But some people are too self-important to do this, and as a result, they can't learn, which is very, very, very sad. It's tragic. It's beyond sad. It's tragic, right? But in Moreness-Culture, we celebrate learning, and there's no, feeling bad because you didn't know before. No, I'm celebrating that I'm learning more now, and I'm always going to be learning more. There's always more to moreness. There's always more. And this is just a fantastic joy of moreness. That's what makes it so incredibly, incredibly magical that there's always more. But my point, to get back to it again, is it would seem rather obvious that it's easy to share moreness, but actually not, right? Because it can easily be misunderstood, misinterpreted when looking at through the filter of superiority paradigm. Because superiority paradigm is all about me. It's all about competing and pulling others down and pushing yourself up and all this stuff, right? It's
Mm.
just that's horrible. But that's all about me. It's an egotistical, narcissistic based culture, right? But when you're
Yes.
doing things for the pure joy of it, pure joy of sharing, this is easily misunderstood, right? And also just to understood that you can do things out of, for instance, largesse of spirit, or for just doing things which others would see as noble. You don't take it that way. I'm going to try and be noble. Not necessarily, but you can also it's just your innate tendency to go beyond. So you just do it, and okay, well, actually, yes. Now that you mention it, I suppose technically that's noble, but you're not doing it to be noble necessarily directly, right? But that happens. But that's all part of moreness. All part of moreness. It's difficult to share because people can't comprehend because the motivations are so far outside of the usual. Right. So on that note, let's shift here, and we'll see this a little bit with Carlos. Carlos struggles sometimes to understand Don Juan's motivations. And like when something happens, he was thinking that Don Juan is trying to trick him or trying to BS him or lying to cover up his awkwardness. That's your logic, Carlos. That's your paradigm. This is absolutely nothing. Don Juan's not going to be awkward to say something. Awkwardness is long since something that he's let go of, right, Beena? It just
Yes.
it's so childish of Carlos to think this way. But that superiority paradigm, that it limits our perception, it limits our awareness, it limits our ability to perceive. Yeah,
Yes.
which
Yes.
is which is really quite something. It's really, really quite something. All right. Let us continue, and I'll share in a moment. So, please, if anybody can see and hear us in TikTok, please let us know. I asked there, but nobody responded. So I don't know. I mean, I messaged, and surely you can see the message, right? So
Yes.
yeah, yeah, it's very interesting. Beena, Lubna, and Duska, they can't go on TikTok either.
Okay, I will ask them. Most definitely.
Please, please see if they can go on and see us live. I do need to get this feedback. But in the meantime, while Bina does that, let me share. Let me share. All right, there we go. And let's get this sorted.
Go to
And
linkedin.com/targeting to claim your credit. That's
there we go. There we
linkedin.com/targeting.
go. There we go.
Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the
Let
place
me
to
see. I
be
can
to
see if
be.
there are other messages on Facebook or YouTube, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, this is cool. Restream the software. So here we were, and Don Carlos is talking about will because this came up, and they're discussing will, and this is a very cool discussion about will, right? And
Yes.
our will operates in spite of our indulgence. For example, your will is already opening your gap little by little. You want to continue reading, or are you busy?
No, no, Syl, I'm not busy, but I'm on phone,
Uh,
so
okay,
it is
okay, all
difficult.
right, all right. Oh, okay. Oh, right, right. Okay. What gap are you talking about? There is a gap in us, like the soft spot on the head of a child, which closes with age. And this gap opens as one develops one's will. Where is that gap? At the place of your luminous fiber, he said, pointing to his abdominal area. What is it like? What is it for? It is an opening. It allows a space for the will to shoot out like an arrow. I have personally felt will emanating from that region. Yes, I didn't perceive it as in capital perceive. I didn't see the luminous fiber. I didn't perceive it that way, right? But I did feel it very, very distinctly and very, very clearly, right? Is will an object or like an object? No, I just said that to make you understand. What a sorcerer calls will is a power within ourselves. It is not a thought or an object or a wish. Wish. To stop asking questions is not will because it needs thinking and wishing. Will is what can make you succeed when your thoughts tell you that you're defeated. Will is what makes you invulnerable. Will is what sends a sorcerer through a wall, through space, to the moon if he wants. There was nothing else I wanted to ask. I was tired and somewhat tense. I was afraid Don Juan was going to ask me to leave, and that annoyed me. Let's go to the hills, he said abruptly, and stood up. On the way, he started talking about will again, and laughed at my dismay over not being able to take notes. He described will as a force, which was the true link between people and the world. He was very careful to establish that the world was whatever we perceive, in any manner we may choose to perceive. Right? Very, very, very important point. The world is a description, in other words, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a very, 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 very big deal, right? Don Juan maintained that perceiving the world entails a process of apprehending whatever presents itself to us. This particular perceiving, in inverted commas, is done with our senses and with our will. And this is one of the absolute main values of Moreness culture. Yes, if we take what Don Juan is saying here and we take it to the ultimate, and then we will understand that the world is something that we interpret. There's energy out there, and we interpret it in a particular way according to our beliefs, our ideas, our expectations, our assumptions, etc. Right? And that's what makes the world that it is. Now you say, well, why can't I just live in my own fantasy world? Yeah, and create exactly the way I want it. Why not? Because this process of describing the world, interpreting energy to how it is that we see the world, is a collaborative effort of all of humanity.
Hmm.
This is very important to understand. Okay?
Yes,
Because
yes.
it doesn't change the reality that we are describing the world. We are creating it. What we perceive as reality is just our idea of what it is, right? We just, it doesn't have to be that way. There are many other different ways it could be, right? But this, because we are joined together in this collaborative effect. Now, whenever you're doing something as a collaboration, right, your particular experience may not quite be exactly the same as everybody else's, because part of the experience is individuality, right? And so there is variation, but the overall broadness, yeah, that's like, for instance, gravity. This is something that you're breathing air. This is a commonality, right? That's what makes the paradigm. Now, of course, our paradigm, we are oxygen breathers in gravity. You can change that paradigm. Just ask any of the astronauts when they go out into space. Oh, suddenly there's no gravity. Wow, different paradigm, right? You have to behave differently. Things work differently, and, you can't just put something down. Yes. I mean, you take your mouse and you're working with it or whatever, and you put it down. Oh, it just starts floating away. Yeah. And when you have liquid in a cup, well, we used to liquid in a cup staying where it is. But in space, if you have liquid in a cup, like in front of your face here, let me see, because I can't always see my own hand here. Where did my screen go? My zoom has
Yes.
disappeared for some reason. There we go. Right, when you're holding a cup like this, and in
Yes.
space, and you lower your hand, the liquid will stay up here potentially. It doesn't go with the cup automatically. Yeah. Well, that's if the cup was open like it is here on Earth. See, a different paradigm, different things to behave. So that's why they only have closed cups and drink through a straw, because otherwise just your stuff can just start floating away, right? It's very fascinating. I mean, it's just different paradigm. But still, they're breathing air. What about a fish? It
Hmm.
doesn't breathe air, right? It gets its oxygen from the water. When it's in air, it's like, oh my God, what's going on now? It starts to suffocate. It starts to
Yes.
suffocate, right? You take a fish out of water,
Yes.
it starts to suffocate. Yeah. It's fascinating paradigms, but those are physical paradigms. What about psychological paradigms? Like I was talking about earlier, like the expectation that people behave for some superiority reason, that they want to be higher in the hierarchy, they want to push others down, pull others down, boost themselves, blah, 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 right? This is a default in our culture, because it is very typical. This is what's mostly going on. People don't even do it consciously, right? I mean, just look at how people talk about win. Oh, what's my win? Yeah, winning is all about relative superiority. Simply because you win a game doesn't mean you're good at it. No. I
Hmm.
mean, I know people who they play games like Monopoly or whatever, checkers or games of that kind. They play against children so that they can win. You say, yeah, that's pathetic. Yes, it is pathetic, but they are so hung up with this need to win and feel like a winner that they go for cheap wins, which mean absolutely nothing, but they're so conditioned in their brain to think a win. eBay uses this to great effect. You win an auction. You're just willing to pay the most. You're not winning anything. It doesn't make you special. I mean, I actually had somebody, an employee in one of the stores I had once upon a time. He came into the store. I won, I won, I won. He was so excited. This was in the early days of eBay, right? We thought he'd won the lottery. So what did you win? Oh, I won my auction on eBay. I'm like, you mean you're the one who was willing to pay the most? He didn't
Hmm.
hear me. He wanted to hear me. No, but I won, I won, I won. He was so excited. Be careful of the paradigm. It can completely disrupt you and get you to spend extra that you didn't really want to spend, right? Actually, now over time, people have sort of started to realize this, and auctions aren't really a big thing anymore because people aren't getting caught up in auction fever and I got to win against the guy bidding against me and the ego gets involved. No, now it's truly when there is actual real demand for the product and you're setting the price. But they're way less common than they were before. Most people just do buy it now. I mean, so it's a different reality, in other words, different reality. It's very interesting when you look at all these things and you see the moreness involved, right? But let's get back to this point of Don Juan's about the world being a perception. This is a very, very phenomenal point that he sort of just drops fairly casually. Yes, right, Beena?
Yes.
But
Yes.
we do need to understand this. And, this isn't just Don Juan's idea, right? I mean, there's more to it. Yeah. I mean, if you go to Einstein, right? Let's go to Einstein, the source of our physics and science, core in physics. All right. I mean, in terms of understanding reality, yes, Einstein is a big deal because that's what Einstein is all about. And if you
Yes.
take E is equal to mc squared, oh, it's very scientific. Oh, I don't know what that means. Well, it's very simple. E stands for energy, all right, and is equal to mc squared. So it's a math formula. So it's m times c squared. M stands for matter or mass, and c squared is the speed of light squared, which is not an infinite number. A lot of people think it's just a very large number. It just happens to be the speed of light, but okay, doesn't matter. Still a large number. So that's energy is mass sped up. When you take matter, material, some physical matter, and you speed it up towards when it gets to the speed of light, it becomes energy. Okay. Now you can take that the other way around.
Yes.
If you say matter, because that's what you can do with
Mm.
equations. You can switch sides on the things, right? You express the same thing,
Yes.
just saying it a different way. So you get m is equal to E divided by c squared.
Hmm.
Holy macaroni! What does this mean now? Wow, wow! This is a very big deal, right? Because now suddenly, and just before I explain this a bit more, what really fascinates me is that I've never seen anybody do this. Never. And I pay
Wow.
attention to that stuff. I've never seen anybody rearrange this thing, and especially not look at what it means. Yeah. So now you've
Hmm.
got matter is energy divided by this very large number. So if you take energy, what does that divide by mean? It means slowing down. And we know
Yes.
this. If you slow down steam, you get water. You slow down
Yes.
water, you get ice. It's like duh. So if you slow down energy, but this is a profound slowing down, and this is capital E energy, the energy of the universe, because the speed of light squared, it's a very big number. So it's a
Yes.
massive slowing down. You get matter. But what does that slowing down? What is the mechanism that does that slowing down? This is the part that I mean, I'm sure somebody's inverted that equation, somewhere, some physicist, but I've never ever had anybody ever speculate even as to what does that dividing, what does that slowing down, how does this happen? Consciousness, awareness. That's what makes the slowing down, right? We slow down things so that we can process it. Otherwise, it happens very fast. When you really get into physics, there's no time. It all happens in one single moment, right? But we can't process it. We're learning. We're learning to be more aware. Instead of just experiencing, we want to know about our experiencing. This is what awareness is all about, right? So
Yes.
when you look at this whole process, now we start to understand. We've created matter, we've slowed down energy. Why? For the process of comprehension, the process of knowing, the process of consciousness, the process of being aware. Yeah. And that's where
Yes.
the description comes from. We start describing things in such a manner that we have a reality in which we can process all of this. Yeah? A very nice, slow reality. Our reality is very slow compared to universal terms. I mean, take very fast on in our world. I know a jet, a fighter jet. This is like super fast in our world. compared to the speed of light, it's not even crawling. You know what I mean? It's like barely moving. Yeah. So we have to understand this, that we are in a super slow reality so that we can comprehend things, because we're learning. Our awareness is new, fresh. We're like babies, yeah. So we have to slow it down. But this is very important, right? So this whole point, right, to say that the perception issue, right? Now,
Yeah.
the key why Don Juan is bringing up this point that the world is a description. He's saying is because we not only perceive the world with our senses, but also with our will. Now he's bringing in a new concept related to will. Before, will was a power in which you affect things and you change things. But Don Juan is saying it's also a way in which we perceive the world. That's quite revolutionary, right, Beena?
I'm just thinking about this. When Don Juan actually says that in exact words.
Right here. I'm going to read it again. Am I still screen sharing? Where's my screen share?
No,
Wait.
no.
No. I see. The thing is, the TikTok chat's covering it up. What did Lubna and Duska say? Can they see us on TikTok? Can they hear us? Beena? 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 Where'd you go?
No.
Oh,
They can't.
they cannot?
Yes.
Can they get onto TikTok or they can't they access TikTok?
No, they cannot access and
Okay.
get your live. They can access the chat, but not live.
Oh, interesting. All right. Anyway, so yeah, I'll read this whole sentence again, right? Will is a power within ourselves. It is not a thought, an object, or a wish. To stop asking questions is not will, because it needs thinking and wishing. Will is what can make you succeed when your thoughts tell you that you're defeated. Will is what makes... that wasn't... Oh, sorry. Sorry. He
Your
described
music
will...
is playing loud, very loud.
What's that?
In the background. Your music is playing very loud in the background.
Oh. Thank you for telling me. Let me turn it off then. Yeah, I'm glad you say, because, for me it's very soft right here, and I like it in the background. But if it's loud for you, then, then it can cause problems for the
Copyright thing, yes.
copyright. Yeah. All right. So he says he described will as a force, which was the true link between people and the world. He was very careful to establish that the world was whatever we perceive in any manner we may choose to perceive. Don Juan, we, plural, right? People, humans. Don Juan maintained that perceiving the world entails a process of apprehending whatever presents itself to us. This particular perceiving is done with our senses and with our will. Right?
Yeah.
Because we willing the transformation, that slowing down is an act of will. See? Make sense now, Beena?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
We
Okay.
want it to be this way because this is convenient for us, right? So it makes total sense, yeah? Yeah, isn't that cool? Isn't that cool?
Yes.
I asked him if will was a sixth sense. He said it was rather a relation between ourselves and the perceived world. I suggested that we halt so I could take notes. He laughed and kept on walking. He did not make me leave that night, and the next day after eating breakfast, he himself brought up the subject of will. What you yourself call will is character and strong disposition. This is little w will. And you see, here is where Carlos and Don Juan, unfortunately, don't grasp this profound mechanism of you saying capital W, in this case, capital W will, right? Or capital R reading, to distinguish between its regular usage and the extra meaning that applies to it. There is a relationship, but it's sometimes those relationships can be a bit tenuous. They can be a bit thin, right? What you yourself call will is character and strong disposition, right? Which is willfulness, which is a different thing to will, right? Like a willful child, right? Stubborn and obstinate, yeah? Strong disposition, right? But it can be in a positive thing where you're determined and you're disciplined, right? You have good willpower in that, we call it. But that just really means that you're persistent, yeah, and you're focused, right? Anyway,
This is exactly, sometimes I feel that, okay, when you have a new concept, completely new concept, like
yeah,
moreness. Okay, it's,
yeah,
I'm not saying that, okay, the moreness itself is new. No, of course it is already there. But the
right,
concept of moreness and
yeah,
having an understanding of moreness is new. And
yes,
then I feel that the language barrier, big, huge time. Because whatever you try to say, we already have some association established with that
correct, correct,
exact words.
correct,
Like in this case, will. If I could create a new word, then I can create new associations. And then it will
precisely,
be much easier to
precisely,
explain that because it is new. Like, okay, someone created a
yes,
word quiz.
yes,
And, and I really want to have something which is already not associated with anything.
yeah,
So then it will be much easier to explain it because our mind will be eager and keen to understand what's this new. Name, having a precise name is a very crucial thing, especially in the new
yes,
concept like will
yeah,
and like moreness.
exactly, exactly. That's why way of impeccable name is the language of conceptionality, not the language of conceptions. That's a different thing. It's related, but it's different.
Hmm.
Conceptionality, which means you're training your brain to think conceptually, right? To be
Yes.
able to create conceptions, connect to conceptions, to be able to conceive. Yes, conceive in the conceptual way, right? In with your thinking, your mind, your body, your feelings. It takes all of it, and your will. Will is part of conception.
Yes.
See, when
Yes.
you
Yes.
understand that, it's a very big deal. Yeah, Beena, look, here's my life, but it's just a black screen. So I don't know.
Oh,
Well, maybe it's because I'm looking at myself, but I just thought, well, let me go and check and see. Yeah, see, it just says black. So let's try and change this. That's no good. Uh, I don't know. Turn on live preview and volume level display. All right. I don't know whatever that means. Let's see if that changed it or not. Yeah, it might take a few seconds. Anyway, I need to get a TikTok expert because this doesn't make any sense. You know, it was showing before, and when I look at the end where it says, you know, like there's at the end of the live when I finish on TikTok, it goes to
yes.
the recording and that shows properly. Yeah.
Okay. So we can just do some courses
Yeah.
professionally, like, okay, paid courses, and then we can get it in one
Yeah.
day. No problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was somebody else's live, not my live. Okay.
Yes.
Well, it said me. I don't know. Anyway, so this point about slowing down things and perceiving, this is a big deal. This is a very big deal. Yeah, it's
I
huge.
think this
It's
is
huge.
the most excellent topic for your TED Talk.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Nobody is
Wow.
talking about it. Nobody has this understanding,
Oh, oh,
and this is
okay.
very unique, and it can be very precise also. So you
Yeah.
can actually do this. Really.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This
Well,
is
we'll
your
do it.
TED Talk.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Oh, yeah. Something went wrong. Yeah. All right. That's very interesting, Beena. That's very interesting. Beena, you have to read a bit because the Salva's here and I haven't had a chance to do the cameras. So let me just take care of him here. Let me just get
Okay,
back.
no problem. But we only have 10 minutes, so we can keep it short today
We'll
because
just
it's very.
we'll just end it right here. We'll just
Yes.
end it right here because
Yes.
we shared
Okay.
a lot. We shared a lot.
Yes. Okay.
We
Oh,
shared
yeah.
a lot. So,
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And if you, by chance, found anything interesting or valuable, please do click
yeah,
like and subscribe to this channel.
yeah,
And we
yeah,
will see
yeah.
you guys tomorrow with moreness and more value.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you
Okay,
so
we
much,
gotta wrap it
everyone.
up real quick. We gotta wrap it
Bye,
up
Syl.
real quick. I
Yes.
gotta go.
Bye for
All
now.
right.